Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a Chief Analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and welcome to a daily analytical report where I will tell you what's going on the markets from the fundamental point of view, and we will also take a look on interesting trading setups on currencies, commodities and indexes. So we can start. First, obviously, let's talk about the fundamental side of the market. And from the fundamental point of view, what we had is a much stronger dollar, which is caused by words from Ms. Lael Brainard. She's a Fed governor, and she said on Wednesday, she said yesterday, that it would be appropriate soon to remove additional accommodations. That was surprisingly, unexpectedly hawkish comment from her. Well, actually, she was ignored for the past few months, but now I can see that market is looking at her more and more. About her words, what is she trying to tell the traders? Now, chances for rate hike in March after those comments are around 86%, and chances for rate hike last week were below 40. They were definitely below 50%. So you can see that this week changed everything. And now it looks different. Okay, I'm sorry. We're back. Apart from that, we had CPIs from Eurozone, which came better than expected. Obviously, we look at 2%, and we look at CPI. And it came as expectations, and finally we reached the level which was anticipated by ECB when they launched all that stimulus and additional negative interest rates, etc. So the last number was 1.8, and now we're having 2%. So finally, that printing machine that ECB has is showing effects. So we can see some positive news for euro, and actually euro dollar is not going higher because of the stronger dollar, but on other instruments euro is advancing. We also had yesterday interest rate decision from Canada. I told you that this will be the most important event, obviously only for Canadian dollar. Most of the rest of the currency pairs were not affected by that. Rates remained obviously unchanged. This caused weakness of Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar got significantly weaker, but that movement is retraced by now on most of the instruments, right? Most of the instruments. So Canadian dollar is back on track, is gaining today. We'll see in hour and 26 minutes what will happen after GDP will be shown from Canada, so also influential event for Canadian dollar. As we're going to the end of the week, what we have here is PMIs tomorrow, also pack of data from Japan. PMIs from Eurozone and PMIs from United States. Actually, now many traders are talking about political risk, especially in France, but it's not affecting currency market much. It's affecting more stocks, it's affecting more bonds market, but currencies not so much. Currencies are mostly affected by the anticipation of a rate hike in United States. So we had Ms. Brainard yesterday, we had rate decision from Canada, we had CPIs from Eurozone, so that actually would be it from the fundamental point of view, so we can start analyzing charts from the technical point of view. And first instrument will be Euro to Australian dollar. And Euro to Australian dollar is having, well, they tried, maybe let's start with a big picture, right? And the big picture here, let me just change the color. The big picture here is this support here, which started in the middle of 2014, right? So we are testing this support right now. As you can see on hourly chart, they tried to bounce from this level with a pin bar, then with a hammer, and now the price is advancing higher, right? I hope you do see that this support is really important, and it's not a surprise that we can expect at least a pause here, not a stop of a downtrend and a reversal, but at least a small pause and maybe a small bullish correction. But this support creates a good environment for that. So they created those two candlesticks interesting for a reversal. So there was a double bottom formation here, right? But instead of breaking the resistance from the double bottom formation, they performed another downswing, especially yesterday, as we will be able to see yesterday. And today we're back with a bullish sentiment. So this allowed to create a right shoulder of inverse head and shoulder formation, right? I hope you can see it. It's pretty clear. But there's no buy signal yet. We're waiting for a breakout of a neckline. Breakout of a neckline will be a buy signal here. The closest support now is this line connecting the bottom of the head and the bottom of the right shoulder. After the neckline will be broken, the closest support will be the neckline. It looks promising. It looks alright. I wouldn't be surprised if the price actually choose this way, but obviously you have to protect yourself and always be ready, for example, for a bigger reversal. So a stop loss here wouldn't be actually a bad idea, because so far we do not have a buy signal. We do have a potential for a buy signal. That buy signal will be created in the future, and by future I mean maybe today. Once we will have a breakout of this line, the buy signal will be triggered with a quite optimistic risk to reward ratio. This can be the closest resistance, but I actually think that the price can advance higher, and that's not the last thing that buyers will say. I think that price can easily reach this resistance here. Okay, so that would be after the breakout. Obviously we're not entering the market right now, but after the breakout, 130 pips, stop loss 240 pips, take profit. So not even profit is 2 times bigger than a loss, but I think that it's still a risk worth taking. Another instrument is cable, is British pound to American dollar, and here we are talking about this instrument somewhere here. We said that most probably we will have a contact with this local support, and that's what actually happened. This support was created by lows from 19th and 20th January. And actually this caused again, not a stop, but at least a pause. What we do have here is an attempt to create a double bottom formation. Maybe I will go to a little bit lower time frame. I don't usually do that. I trade on a bigger time frames, just to show you that there is no reversal signal yet, right? Reversal signal, at least in the short term, will be created once the price won't even break this line, but will break this line and also make new daily highs. To make daily highs, the price needs to go there. So far we do not have that, so there is no buy signal here, even after such a strong drop, because from the top we have a 300 pips drop. Even after such a strong drop, the correction is not, you cannot take correction for granted, right? The price still can break this support and go even lower. Euro to Japanese yen. This is a pair I gave on a Trading Sniper video. What we do have here is an uptrend. Uptrend started in June. This is one resistance. This one is more accurate, in my opinion. So we broke one. We broke one in the beginning of December. We are below the second one, and it's a nice upswing, right? And we do have a wedge here. Those lines, maybe I will those I will give with a different color. All right, we do have a wedge here. Wedge was here because price is now outside of the wedge. We had a bullish breakout from the wedge, triggered by this inverted head and shoulder formation in the smaller time frames, in the hourly time frame. So this inverse head and shoulder formation caused a nice upswing. The price managed to break the upper line of the wedge. After the breakout, they tested that as a local support. The minimum target of the head and shoulder of the inverse head and shoulder formation is set by measuring the length of the head here. So as you can see, we didn't even reach the minimum target of inverted head and shoulder formation. But to be honest with you, I do not believe in those minimum targets. 2 years ago, I was analyzing hundreds and hundreds of inverted head and shoulder formations to check the potential target for this formation, and not many, I would say like 10% of them went to minimum target and then reversed. Much more of them were making twice as big moves, three times as big moves. Usually it was around two times bigger, 2.5, right? So you shouldn't pay much attention to the minimum target of the head and shoulder formation, but I just wanted to show you that. So there is a buy signal created by inverse head and shoulder formation, and also from the breakout from the wedge, and the closest resistance is exactly here. So the closest important resistance, we do have 100 pips. So there's still a place, there's still time to jump into this trade. I'm not saying that you should jump in, that you should buy, because I cannot tell that. I cannot tell you that. I'm just expressing my view on the market. Gold defended this downswing yesterday. Actually, they managed to go to the daily highs. That was a very, very interesting movement to see that. So that could be considered as a false breakout, and the price created a nice hammer on the trend line, but the price is pushing lower again. But look, they bounced with a hammer here, they bounced with a hammer here, they bounced with a hammer here, and they trying to bounce with a hammer right now, but the price advancing lower. Well, there is a demand on gold, but it's being targeted by the stronger dollar. So and for now we can see that stronger dollar is winning a little bit, but still buyers for gold are very very brave, I would say. Right, so we are waiting. Most probably we will have a breakout, but still it won't be anything. It won't be anything hard for. Won't be trouble for buyers. as long as we stay above 38.2, above this green area. As we talk about gold, let's talk about silver. Again, silver is in a much better condition than gold. They are not struggling, they are creating a pennant formation. They are far from the trend line. So here on silver, everything looks all right. Just like a typical day in an uptrend. American dollar, euro to American dollar. What we do have here is daily lows today. Actually, we're having a weekly lows, and we're about to test the local support. Here we're about to test this local support, which is 20 pips lower from now. Another instrument I have for you is Australian dollar to American dollar. And actually it looks like we're about to end this pattern of 12 the same corrections in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, this one, no. This one, no. 12 corrections in a row. That would be it. That's all, folks, as they say. And now it's time for a deeper correction, right? The first potential support is here, and as we can see, the price is trying to test that. But the test is successful for sellers so far. Okay, it's successful for sellers. They touched 23.6. We have to adjust the P-bows to the local top here, so they are bouncing from 23.6. Most probable movement is to 38.2 in a long term. Not now, but in a longer term. Why? Because there's a support here after breakout, resistance after breakout, support. So most probably it will be support again. New Zealand dollar to Japanese yen. What do we have? Here is this double top formation, but no signal yet. We are waiting. Well, I am waiting. I don't know how about you, but I am waiting for a breakout of the lower line here, which should trigger a sell signal on this instrument. British pound to Canadian dollar. On our chart, you can see the drop here and an upswing. This upswing is caused by a right decision. The price went up, but got retraced again. They failed to break the support here. They attacked the resistance, and now the chances for an upswing are higher. And this is our setup that we found out here at the end of January, where there was this bullish engulfing, and we gave higher chances for breakout here in the long term. Well, that's kind of a boring sideways trend, but we are still believing that we will have a positive outcome here on this pair. Australian dollar to Japanese yen. Yesterday we were telling you about the positive sentiment here. They finished the day on the new highs. They draw a beautiful bullish candlestick, and now it's time to take profits from this movement. It's normal, but actually those profits taking profit action here can be considered very sharp, right? That's a very deep movement. They are now crashing through the 38.2 Fibonacci level, and the closest support will be 50%. And this positive sentiment can be under pressure here if buyers won't stop it now or on 50% Fibonacci level. Euro to Canadian dollar. On euro to Canadian dollar, what do we have here is a pair bridge the midterm trend line, bridge the midterm horizontal resistance. Now they have another horizontal resistance ahead of them. You could think about going long, but as long as we stay below the green line, going long is a bit too risky, in my opinion. I wouldn't go long now. Australian dollar to Canadian dollar. Again, on hourly chart, you can see that Canadian dollar got weaker, but this movement is over, right? We are below those that interest rate decision. What do we have here is a triple top formation. 1, 2, 3. Now we have a breakout of a neckline of this formation. We have a breakout of the horizontal support of this formation. Now we are testing the trend line here, but that's a short term. In the long term, what do we have is inverse head and shoulder formation. There's a neckline, and maybe we will be testing this neckline anytime soon. Another instrument where Canadian dollar got weaker, where you can actually see it, is here, and then now this movement is retraced. But what do we have here is a breakout from the symmetric triangle. Breakout of the support of the lower line of the triangle, and then test of this line as a closest resistance. And this test looks very promising, right? From this, that is a beautiful, maybe not a beautiful, but that is interesting sell signal. Sell signal will be even bigger, will be even more stronger, will be even more significant once the price will get to this X here below the horizontal support. Right, so far we may think about testing the neckline again, but once the price will break the horizontal support and get to that X, the chances for a breakout will be very, very high. Another instrument, Canadian dollar to Japanese yen. This is this movement from the interest rate decision when Canadian dollar got weaker, but it got retraced. That movement from yesterday was much bigger than we expected. We were long here, we closed our position here. That was an excellent trade because after that the price declined deeper than we expected. We expected that the support will hold, but actually this breakout, luckily without us on board, created a false breakout opportunity. And now maybe on hourly chart, like that, we broke the trend lines. We have a false breakout, we broke the trend lines, and the buy signal is back on the table right now. So that last time we bought here, we are more or less on the same levels as the last time. British pound to New Zealand dollar. We saw some breakouts on a few instruments, but here we are waiting for a breakout. This is a daily chart. Some may see a symmetric triangle, some may see an inverse head and shoulder formation, but it's very often like that those two formations, they come together. But anyway, we're waiting for a breakout, either of the lower line, either of the upper line. Breaking upper line will trigger a buy signal, breaking lower line will trigger a sell signal. American dollar to Mexican peso. Yesterday, when the price was somewhere here, price was here, exactly here. We tweeted that broken support probably is resistance. This support highlighted by orange line, and there was a beautiful H4 shooting star candlestick here, and that's we asked this question somewhere here, and that's actually what the price did. The price declined sharply, very sharply, obviously with a small help from fundamentals. But anyway, that's the best deal we can get, combining fundamental analysis with a technical analysis. Okay, and our commodities, oil Brent, which is not very interesting to look at, unfortunately, where we are still in the side trend. So the price is more or less the same as yesterday, 2 days ago, etc., etc. The price is more or less the same as it was, as you can see here, in the middle of December. So the price of oil is steady. They are pushing a little bit lower, mostly due to the fact that they couldn't force the $57.4 per barrel. And now we're, in my opinion, it's just a matter of time when we will have a test of this lower line connecting recent higher lows, right? It's a lower line of the sideways trend. We should test that line anytime soon. And DAX, everything is awesome, everything is great. 12,000 points again on DAX. Beautiful sharp upswing. Fiesta on stocks continues. Even Treasury Secretary became a lawyer for stocks. He said that investment in stocks is the best thing you can do right now, that there is no bubble, that the price should go higher and higher and higher. Well, that's a very interesting view from a Treasury Secretary. Obviously, he was employed in Goldman Sachs. Maybe he forgot that it's not his job to to tell such things. It was his job when he was in Goldman Sachs, but he's not there anymore. But anyway, if he's telling something like that, I'm starting to worry a little bit, but traders do not care. They go up and up and up. If you call this correction, well, that's not a correction at all. That's just taking not even a deep breath. That's just taking a breath. And most probably we'll see another levels, another leg higher and higher and higher. Till there will be the last guy who will have to switch off the lights. And I don't think that many people, I think that nobody wants to be the last guy dancing in that room. Let's see what's going on with our euro to Australian dollar, where we just made daily highs, which is very interesting. We just made also weekly highs, which is also very interesting. The price is creating bullish engulfing in terms of the bodies, obviously not tails, not shadows, which is fine by me. Let's scan all the charts. Here silver, as you can see, silver is catching the gold right now. Euro dollar is very, they're gonna test this support. Most probably this support will be tested. Australian dollar to American dollar, 38.2 should be under the pressure. British pound to Canadian dollar, I think they can pull it higher. Here. That's actually it, guys. American dollar to Mexican peso. Here also we do have a promising sell signal. So few trading signals, a few trading opportunities today on a daily analytical report. I hope you I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching. Remember that trading and investment in financial markets involves an element of risk. Stay safe on the markets at all times. Thanks very much, and see you in a bit, because we'll have a webinar about technical analysis. Also, remember to follow us on our Twitter account and our website alpari.news. Thanks very much and goodbye.